Pullum is suing his former friend for breach of contract. Craig says he hired the defendant to make dresses for a fashion show. But Craig never got his merchandise and then caught the defendant wearing one of the dresses. Defendant Terrence Clark says every time he speaks to the plaintiff, he gets a headache. And he's countersuing for mental anguish and emotional distress.
Craig Pullum is suing Terrence Clark for breach of contract, and Terry is suing for emotional distress and mental anguish. Tell me why you're suing, Craig.
Well, actually, Your Honor, basically, I met Terry about 5 years ago. And when I was first introduced to Terry, I was introduced to Terry because Terry actually was a music producer before the female impersonation and the comedian jobs came in. And believe it or not, Terry actually used to be the captain of her high school cheerleading and dance team. Believe it or not, she can dance her big butt off. Yes.
She could what?
She can dance her big butt off.
I've been mistaken for Beyonce plenty of times. So.
You have?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I walked in. It's the first thing I thought.
See,
Halle Berry. Those two come to mind.
You looked at, people think you're Halle Berry?
Halle Berry or Beyonce.
More like Barry White.
All right, you two were friends? Okay.
We weren't like best of friends. Terry actually was more into music producing when I first met Terry. So we were introduced on that level because I was trying to break into the music industry.
Are you a singer, Terry?
No.
What do you do?
I'm a dancer.
I'm
a female illusionist. I'm a jack of all trades. But comedy right now is my specialty. And I just want you to know, Your Honor, that I am feeling fabulous today. You look absolutely fabulous.
Well,
and I just wanted to come and meet your status.
Well, you look
with all
stunning.
of my clothes and everything.
Where do you get your outfits?
Oh, I make it. I'm a seamstress.
You are?
That's what really got us here, Your Honor.
All right.
Actually, what's going on is I met Craig through a mutual friend. Craig is a great singer, believe it or not. It was something in Chicago called Chicago Idol through a radio station. It was a spinoff from American Idol. So Craig one time was in the competition. He made it to the finals and he sounded real good. But I think the reason why he didn't win was because of his clothing. He's an awful dresser, a terrible dresser, a horrific dresser.
He looks great today.
Somebody else must have dressed him.
I can accept that coming from her, though.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All
anyway.
Right. So it's not American Idol that you were on. It's what is it?
Well, no, actually in 2004, I was on American Idol season 4. So when you get a chance to Google my name.
Oh, yeah, I'll be sure to. But let me ask you, what was it like being on American Idol?
Oh, man, it was definitely an emotional roller coaster. A lot of long, hard working hours, up from 6 in the morning to 2 in the morning, singing for 8 to 10 hours. But it was an absolute joy, though. I absolutely loved it. And it really taught me a lot of humility. And it taught me how to definitely deal with a lot of different personalities.
Mm-hmm. Good for you. That's great. Okay.
So when I saw Craig, I told him that what I would do for him as a favor was to make him some clothes because he looked slouchy and sloppy. So I said, I'm going to make you some clothes that look fit you, groomed, because Craig also would just wear black with anything. And he stayed in black, I guess, because they say black make you look smaller. But in his case, it didn't work. And so I ran into Craig last year, sometimes around December. It was around Christmas time. I did a comedy show.
Actually, it was November, yeah.
And so he was telling me he was interested in doing a fashion show. So he said he needed someone to make some good clothes. And of course, you see, I made all of this and this is what I have on. So of course he wanted someone with expertise like mine. And I, agreed to do it. So we went to some fabric stores and one thing I did love about Craig is that he picked out some fabulous fabric.
So you're going to make this for him?
Right. I'm going to make it for him.
What'd you pay for fabric?
Honestly, Your Honor, the fabric that I bought, actually, those were supposed to be what she was making for me and that I never got. And that beaded fabric alone was over $1,200.
The red?
That black.
That black. Can I see that?
That fabric was actually $129 a yard. And I actually caught it on sale for $79.95 a yard.
You got 10 yards?
And I bought 15 and a half
15 yards.
Yes.
Wow. What kind of fabric is this?
It's beaded lace.
It's heavy?
Very heavy, yes.
It is? Oh my goodness.
She had to hand sew it.
This is magnificent.
Thank you.
Look at this. This is beautiful.
It was made by a beautiful person.
That's you?
Inside.
That be you?
Of course.
See, that's the problem, Your Honor. She has this,
I have to tell you,
Beyonce
it's
complex.
beautiful. She's got a Beyonce and a Halle Berry complex.
Well, she thinks, Beyonce wants a ring put on it, a diamond ring. She would prefer a chicken or onion ring.
Oh, who's the comedian here?
So now
There.
he's trying to be the comedian. Huh.
All right, good. So you're going to make fabric. You're going to make outfits for him.
Uh-huh.
And he spends how much on fabric?
Here's all the receipts. These are my receipts. That's all the fabric that we purchased.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So actually, Your Honor, what I'm here for, asking for, is what was due to me. I had to cancel my fashion show because those items were the highlight of the show. It was
So
a
what
big
happened? They're right there.
She never answered my phone calls again. The last time I took fabric to Terry's house in December. I brought the model over. It was a plus size show. I brought the model over the end of December for a fitting. When I first went to the fitting, the only thing that had been partially done was the black dress.
Did you two have an agreement when you agreed to sew this for him that
Yeah.
you would have it done by a certain time?
Yes, yes, I did. But Craig did not inform me that at first that these models were going to be plus size model. He had something called a line he wanted to do called the big, the bold, the beautiful. Now these were not models; these were monsters when he brought them to me.
Monster?
They look like the old Star Jones, Rosie O'Donnell. I'm talking about, and from his fashion sense, I could see why he would think these were models.
Well, what did you think when you were buying that much fabric? You knew you were doing it for plus size
Hello?
people.
But not this one.
Yeah.
They were bigger than him.
So?
Or bigger than you, actually.
Well, I'm not fat
she's
because the
talking.
same reason you fat. He's fat because he eats a lot. I'm fat because I had surgery 2 years ago and I'm still swollen. So I'm not really considered fat. There's a difference.
Okay. Let me
Okay.
ask you this. You have an agreement that she's going to sew for you.
Correct.
You spend $2,700 on fabric. Mm-hmm. All right. You're having a fashion show in May.
This was, and mind you, that was December and January.
I remember.
So she had plenty enough time to do this.
So, by the way, what are those outfits over there?
This is actually something that Terry made this right here. These are a couple items that were featured in a fashion show that
Terry
I had
made.
that I brought. No, actually Terry only made this one.
Beautiful.
This beaded. I mean,
Thank you.
My thing is, it was an unprofessional antic, and all I wanted was my stuff.
Did you say to her, look, Terry, I got to have this stuff back? Did you call her? Did you tell her?
I called, went by the house, never picked up my phone calls, let the answering machine
Where
get
are you,
full where you
Terry?
couldn't leave
Well,
messages.
I had to tell Craig a couple times. See, Craig would call me and always be eating. He always eats and be smacking on the
I don't care
phone.
if he eats.
Because he's smacking on the phone. That's annoying to my ears.
Well, I can't
and then he
eat. I
has
don't
what
have any
I
money.
call OBS, out of breath syndrome. A lot of plus size fat people have that. He's always breathing hard. I can't understand what he's saying. So I told him to come over to my house. And it takes him forever. When I make appointments, he takes forever coming up the stairs, big as he is. But he missed actually a couple of the appointments. One of his models, one time he was supposed to come over, she said that I guess she had a doctor's appointment. I believe she was at a buffet somewhere. And
No, Your
Does
Honor,
anybody have any evidence
actually the last
regarding
time that
dates for these fittings?
actually the dates that are on the receipts of my deposits, those are the dates. That first one in December.
12/31, 129, and 108. Okay. What other fabric did you buy for
Actually,
$2,700?
that beaded lace,
Yeah.
that yellow, that blue, all of that's
You
mine.
bought all that fabric?
Yes, that's mine.
And you've never gotten these dresses?
Never, and that's been since January.
Terry, how do you justify this?
And she wore one, the yellow one. I ran into her Monday at one of our.
And she had on your dress?
She had the yellow dress
You
on.
should charge her for wearing your dress.
I should have punched her in her nose.
no, that wouldn't have happened, boo. That wouldn't have happened.
That's what I
That
should have
would-
did.
All right, let's see
I
the
ran
yellow
into
dress.
her several times. Your
I
Honor,
want to see
but-
the yellow dress.
And it's beautiful. It came out absolutely
So
beautiful.
you made the dresses. Why didn't you give them to him? Because you
Well, I
wanted to
didn't
wear
have
them?
them ready around the time that he actually.
There's a pea stain on the dog, on the
Where?
dress from the dog.
How do you know it's from the dog?
Because when I went over there the last time, that was the one fabric that was cut out. It wasn't put together. It was cut out. And she did tell me that her dog had a mishap on the fabric. That
Did you wear the
fabric-
dress with a pea stain on it?
I got it clean.
All right, let's see the blue dress.
It's
I want to see
Now,
this dress.
this blue dress, Yarna, there was supposed to be, I haven't seen, mind you, this is my first time seeing the blue
these
and the black.
dresses.
Those rhinestones were over $1,000 or almost $1,000 themselves.
Thanks.
That's a lot of detailed rhinestoning work.
You
That's
do
hand did.
absolutely beautiful work.
Thank you.
You do. You do.
I did it the way I look beautiful.
But they're not for you.
But they're not for you,
I
though.
know. I
Right.
mean, it's not for me. I mean, but I just
But
still do
wear them
everything
when if I have a
beautiful.
chance. Why not? Okay. Can you two be friends again? Maybe.
Maybe if he lose
right.
some weight. Because fat people just don't get along. That's all it is. Plus size hating on plus size.
Now you see what I had to go through.
I do.
That's mental anguish.
All
there.
right.
No,
all
I'm
right.
going through emotional distress.
First of all, let me tell you that it was very enjoyable having you both in my courtroom. I'll start by saying that. But let's get down to the legalities of this. We're talking about fundamental contract law. There is a contract between the two of you. Whether written or not, it doesn't really matter. You both agree that you are going to sew items for this fashion show that the plaintiff is having. The plaintiff puts out a lot of money, $2,700 for fabric, and I looked at that fabric. It is magnificent. And at the end of the day, he didn't have the opportunity to have his models come in for fittings, but you're still sewing away, which tells me you're probably figuring, hell, I'll wear these things. It really doesn't matter
And she did.
if he gets them or not.
And she did.
And she did. She's admitted to it. Now, the defendant, on the other hand, is countersuing for emotional distress. She says that because of OBS, out of breath syndrome, then is smacking and talking to her while he was on the phone and eating, that it caused her emotional distress.
It did.
Yeah, I'm sure. To you, I'm sure it did. But at the end of the day, emotional distress is when it is so outrageous, so unforgivable, so regular, so
You never
consistent.
heard him smack. That's why you're saying that.
that you should recover for. The plaintiff has made out his case. He is entitled to the money, to $4,300 for the material, the fabric, and the money paid. You owe him $4,300. So ordered.
Thank you.
Okay.
He's an actor, and as you see, he won the case. I guess he's a good actor.